Here's the update. I just got out of the family court. That's now been postponed until March 13th because my brother accosted his attorney, blew up at his own public defender, and so they recused himself. They refused to represent him. This has been the third lawyer that he has managed to piss off who refuses to represent him. And I unfortunately had to have a very long conversation with my attorney representing me in the family matter, as well as with a couple other attorneys, another one which I'm waiting to hear back from. And they've all advised me to go and throw a head down for the retainer, $7,500. For a retainer for a lawyer. And Unfortunately, my financial situation is such that that's going to be extremely difficult for me. And I've been now tasked with a really sad thing to do today. My brother refuses to make eye contact with me and just shows up disheveled and then stands in the corner of the courtroom and basically has managed to make just about everybody involved in this extremely upset and angry. The finance administrator as well are requesting to have their duties relinquished. The sad thing that I need to share, unfortunately, which is breaking my heart, is that I've been advised to have my brother involuntarily committed to a mental institution. I've been advised by a number of attorneys to have family members sign off on this, to have the over 20 years of police reports and records of my brother's violent past and history of assaulting me and other people brought into a petition to have him involuntarily committed. He broke into the house while my wife and I are away during the holidays and left the front door wide open. The house was ransacked, properties damaged. He's perpetuating more lies. He's trying to say that I damaged a $10,000 pair of sneakers of his, and everything he's all the lies that he told amount to what's called a false report, like a false allegation. It's a form of harassment for the past 2 years. To have 4 orders of protections dismissed, 3 separate allegations of criminal mischief and harassment all dismissed because there's no factual basis for it and they're all lies, is a clear indication of someone who's struggling with mental illness and doesn't realize that you're lying under oath to the court. You haven't lived in the house in over 10 years, yet you still say that you live there. Access being granted to the house of the estate does not include breaking into my private bedroom, going through my wife's underwear and her affairs, and damaging and stealing property, and then turning around and saying that, the other person is the one perpetuating the criminal mischief. So now, sadly, I'm going to have to reach out to my family members who do not want to get involved and have them sign off on having him involuntarily committed to a mental institution. He's a veteran. They maybe detonated some ordnance next to his head, and he doesn't process information correctly, and he thinks this is okay to do to me. Grieving the loss of my dad has been extremely painful, and he's posed a direct threat to the house, to the artwork, and to me. And he has a history of violence. So it's really sad that I'm going to have to do this. There's really no other alternative course of action. He's no longer going to be able to find anyone who's going to represent him either, because he's accosted just about everybody and alienated everybody. I'm afraid that he is suicidal. I'm afraid my brother's a danger to himself. And I say that with a really aching heart. I really think that he is capable of killing himself and hurting me and other people. And what he's doing is abusive, and it's a form of harassment. I'm doing the best I can to save the house. I need your help, folks. if you could send me some money to help me with an attorney fee, I'd really appreciate it. My email is oliverbuffy@gmail.com. That's my PayPal. It's been extremely expensive and costly for me to miss work and have to pay for legal counsel. To get a lawyer in there tomorrow, it's going to cost me $7,500. I'm trying to prevent the house from going to foreclosure and make an agreement with him that we can rent it out and he'd get some kind of income out of it, if not even a place to stay. But he has demonstrated that he has a severe mental illness. This is not a vindictive thing. I'm not making this up. This is my dad's handwriting. This is a photocopy of the will. This is one of dozens, perhaps maybe more police reports. Here, this is one that my father filed against him, saying that he had an ongoing problem with his son living in the same household, which was my brother. Then it says my dad states that his wife was very sick and that his son's attitude is only hurting his wife's situation. This was back in March of 2003 when my mom was dying. He asked his son to go to the supermarket to shopping, and then he stated that the son stated he was too busy and could not go. And at that point, a verbal argument ensued. Both parties claimed that there was a verbal argument that turned physical, with the two parties pushing and shoving one another. Both parties were advised on how to pursue with harassment charges, and even though neither sustained any visible injuries, my father was hurt during that. He was pushed, he was shoved. My father, at the time, was not yet diagnosed with cancer, but had ulcerative colitis, and was handicapped and physically weak, and not somebody that anyone in their right mind would shove, especially being elderly, especially while my mom was suffering from cancer. And this is the kind of sick shit that I've been dealing with for 2 years. My brother knows damn well what the last wishes of my dad were. Knows damn well that the video wasn't coerced and fake. And he knows what he's doing. He basically told my wife and I he was going to make our lives miserable. So here, I'm appealing to the public as to what to do, because it's extremely painful for me to have to actually go ahead and have my brother involuntarily committed. That's horrible. But he's demonstrated that before the judge and the court, that he has a malicious intent, and continues to lie under oath. It's been extremely painful for me to deal with this, folks. It's affecting my mental health. It's affecting my ability to, quote unquote, move on with my life. He's done everything he can to complain about me, to sabotage my jobs. Here, my father did not pay December 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21st, his taxes, which I paid because he was sick with cancer medical expenses. Now I'm requesting to take over the mortgage again. It's overwhelming for me. I don't have a lot of money. I don't really have much of a family to help me. And sadly, they didn't really care that my dad was sick and dying either. I kind of had to call them and let them know. To date, nobody from my father's side, his family, has ever even offered their condolences or come to see me, let alone come visit my dad when he was sick. I just feel disgusted. I feel like, my father was right when he said it was bred into the family, this dysfunction. I'm just trying to take care of my own mental health. I'm trying to stay sober and exercise and take care of myself. It's been extremely difficult for me. I've had some people who've been abusive, disrespectful to me, and I'm also dealing with that as well. And I'm sure my brother is doing all he can to sort of put me in a bad light and say bad things about me to people and try to undermine. He undermined the business, BernardBafi.net, Bafi Studio Fine Art Gallery. I've spoken with some other attorneys, and I understand you guys get $500 an hour, and you got to go where the money is. But if there was someone willing to pro bono, please show up to court tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. in the Putnam County Surrogate Court if you'd like to represent me. Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting to hear back from another attorney. This is not what I want to do. He needs help, and he needs to want to get the help. He can't, if you involuntarily commit somebody, the likelihood that they're going to want to get help is minimal. But I cannot allow my brother to keep damaging property, to keep threatening me, to keep dragging me into court on lies. And I'm surprised that the court has let it go this far, but at this point, I don't believe the court is going to continue to entertain somebody who's mentally ill and who keeps lying. They may actually move to have him committed. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. That could very well happen. It's been so painful. This is exactly what my dad tried to avoid. He was trying to get a will properly notarized and filled out and taking him to and from the hospital, dying of cancer. I mean, what more bullshit do you want to put me through? What more shit can you possibly do? What a disgrace! What a disgrace to your own family, to your own mother and father. So I can't stand certain kinds of fucking rap music and this ghetto mentality, materialistic shit that's gone on in this country for so long. People emulate somebody like fucking Trump, I'm just disgusted, and honestly, yeah, if I had the money for the attorney, this would have never gone this far. Sadly, my own cousin's a lawyer. Can you imagine? My own cousin Suzanne is a lawyer. Not even think of offering to help me. So sick. My father once compared it to Paris Hilton. She lives off the money that she gets from her rich doctor husband, who's a rich kid in himself, didn't even need to work. Just tried to become a doctor to rebel against his own rich billionaire fucking parents. Couldn't give a shit whatsoever about me, and I made an effort to extend myself to my father's side of the family for years. It was not reciprocated in any way. And the lawyer asked me, hey, can you reach out to your family? Can you have them sign off on having your brother committed as well? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that. And they didn't want to get involved. My father used to call people up crying about Andreas. Crying. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he needs help, That's what the VA is there for. He needs to check himself into the VA hospital. He's lying under oath. He's making false allegations. And so that's an actual criminal offense. And I hate to have to do this, but this is